Hello and welcome to the D3 podcast. This is your host, Matt, joined as always by Sam, Kevin, and John. What's up, boys?
Same old, same old.
Chillin', baby.
On the last podcast, Sam decided to say that he is the best player on the Nets. Sam, how you feeling about that? Are you sure about that one?
Look, I'm just telling you guys, I'm going to be running the post. I don't know what Kyrie's going to be doing at that point. Kid can't even card me. I call him Kid because he should respect me at that point. I don't know. I'm not deferring. I'm going to make that very clear. Practice? I'm the Allen Iverson. Right?
Spicy Sam, going to be top player for the Nets. Let's get it. Why don't we get right into it? For the game of the week, we have Miami Heat and Brooklyn Nets. Right now, Miami Heat has been kind of bad. Pretty bad, but by the time that this game happens, they should have Bam and Jimmy back. So hopefully it's a little bit more interesting. Why don't we get right into that? John, why don't you first give us who you think is going to win the game, and then kind of give us your 2 cents into how you feel about it.
I think the Nets will win the game because I think by then it should be James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving all on the floor together. And I wonder, too, we saw how they kind of staggered the minutes for Harden and Durant in that Orlando game. So I wonder how they're going to play with the rotations, I guess, is what I'm most interested in for this game, to see, how they try to, if they try to do, what D'Antoni did with James Harden and Chris Paul, where, he said, we'll always have one Hall of Fame point guard on the floor at all times. That's something they can do now. So, but I'm also, this Heat team has really struggled in part due to COVID stuff, part due to just not being totally there right now. So I want to see what they're going to do against the team that's looking to dethrone them in the East. I want to see some fire in these boys' bellies. I want to see Jimmy excited to play again. That's what I'm looking for.
That's totally fair. I would definitely have to agree with the Nets winning. It's kind of hard to see any team beating them right now, especially the Miami Heat. But
except for maybe the Orlando Magic, I guess. Just about there. Pretty close.
Oh, the Orlando Magic. That is such a weird team this year. I don't know how to make of that. I really don't. Sam, why don't we go on to you? What are your how you feel about this game?
It's kind of funny because it's the reverse of Spurs Heat. It's build versus bot, but the build team is the Miami Heat. I think this is a pending everyone's healthy or relatively could play, it'll be a good matchup just in terms of a finals contender of the Miami Heat, who we all thought would actually still, step up. Even before the James Harden trade, we thought it would be a very good chance for them to be a real presence. I think in terms of just overall firepower, it seems very blatant that the Brooklyn Nets are a very scary team. There's no way you can guard most of these players. No one can guard Kevin Durant besides another superstar. It's already very difficult to guard James Harden unless your name is Luguentz Dortz. But I think it seems very obvious for the Nets, but I'd be very interested to see maybe Bam's presence against Kevin Durant. I think that'd be a very good matchup overall.
You think Bam? Do you think Bam's the one that needs to step up in this game, or do you think Jimmy or Christian Wood is going to be the X factor for them?
Well, I mean, I think Bam's been stepping up because there's just no one else to defer to really at this point. I mean, Jimmy's been out still for a while. Did you say Christian Wood, sir?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, exactly. I mean, there's no Goran. There's, Tyler's here and there. It's a very fun-filled team, but it's just not there yet. I guess they got lucky with the bubble because everyone's young and they don't really have responsibilities besides partying in Miami Beach. So it's going to be a long ride now looking back at it. It's just a lot of young guys that just need more experience together, I guess.
Yeah. And that's my bad on the Christian Wood thing. Why the hell did I think that he was on Miami? That's the weirdest. I mean, John's been
was on Miami.
John wrote this entire podcast this year, so don't know how that happened. But Kevin, why don't we go on to you?
I think I gotta take the Nets on this one, but I think if the Heat can get off to a hot start and Bam is playing up to his normal skill level, or if not above, I think they have a real chance to actually take this game out from under the Nets. I think if you have like Hero and Butler actually shooting really well, really consistently, really early, the Nets, like we said, the Nets don't play defense. The Nets don't need to play defense. So if you can get your 3-point shooters going off early, that's going to be a huge boost to your team. And if you can have Bam in the paint, defending everything, trying to defend Kevin Durant, and shutting down anything DeAndre Jordan does and getting every rebound DeAndre Jordan should get, I think they'll actually have a fighting chance.
Fair enough. Just for shits and giggles, why don't we just go around the podcast and see who we think is going to score the most points on the Nets? I'm going to go with KD. John, who do you have?
I will also take Kevin Durant.
I'm going to go with like 40 points, over under 40 points.
I don't think he'll score 40 points. I think it's going to be a little tougher with Kyrie back to get to 40.
All right, Sam.
I wonder if they have like talks. Like, do they talk saying like, okay, who's gonna have a hot night? Like, do you want to have it, or is it my turn? So, I mean, we saw KD with the Magic. He popped off like crazy. Interesting to see what Kyrie would be in this picture, but I think it's gonna be Kyrie. I think Kyrie's gonna send a statement saying that like I'm the best player on this roster, even though he's not. He's gonna send the message that like I deserve to be here better more than anyone else. So I'm with Kyrie.
And Kevin.
I mean, I'm going to also choose someone different. I'm going to go with Harden because I think Harden's going to go up against Robinson or Hero, and he's going to scoop with the step backs every time, and they're going to be embarrassed and leave the stage in tears.
Yeah, that's fair. Harden's going to drop some knowledge on these boys. Why don't we move to the next side of the Heat? We were just talking about an X factor to this team really stepping up. Who do you think is going to need to be the leading scorer, or who do we think is going to be the highest scorer on this Heat team? John?
I don't know if that. I don't know. I think the Heat are so weird with their scoring. It's been Tyler Hero lately, I think. I'm gonna take I'll take Jimmy in his first, probably like one of his first games back. I'll go with Jimmy, but I think that the most important person there is going to be Bam. I think he's like kind of the thing that's going to make this team work for the rest of the season. He's the guy who's like most switchable, all that stuff. Like he'll be checking KD, all that.
Sam.
I'm with Duncan Robinson. He's been kind of hit or miss here and there, but I mean, when he's on fire, he can definitely be making buckets. I think this guy's going to drop like 26 this game.
Damn. All right. Kevin, what you got?
I think I'm gonna go with Bam. I think if they can get the ball to Bam, he can score over DeAndre Jordan any day. I don't think Kevin Durant is gonna try that hard on defense, even though he probably could guard Bam if he wanted to. So I think Bam's gonna have the time of his life down there.
And I'm going to go with Christian Wood. No. I think out of all of these players, one of the highest scorers on the team needs to consistently be either Duncan Robinson or Tyler Hero. I think Tyler Hero has been somewhat inconsistent, but when he's hot, he's hot. So on a team that doesn't really play defense, I think a safe bet we're not necessarily a safe bet, but I would bet on Tyler Hero scoring maybe 30. I'm hot on him, man. I'm hot on him. Excuse me. My God. We're going to go into a brand new segment this week. It's going to be called Bench, Trade, or Start. John, we're going to start with you on this one. We've got the Bulls team. We've got Pat Williams, Lauri Markkanen, and Wendell Carter Jr. Who do you got for that?
I'm trading Lauri Markkanen. I'm trading Lauri. I'll trade Lauri Markkanen to anyone who wants him. I don't care. I'm done with Lauri. He's scored me. I want the shiny new thing in Pat Williams, who will be starting. Wendell can go to the bench, think about what he's done. But Lauri needs to get out of here. I hope that he has a really strong couple of weeks before the trade deadline, and that the Bulls decide to do something ruthless and very un-Bulls-like and make a smart trade, moving him to someone who will give us too much for him. I've always been a Laurie lover. I've always loved Laurie. But man, he's just like I don't think he's ever gonna figure it out and be anything. I don't think he'll ever be an all-star. I think he's gonna be like a good player one day, but I don't think that's what he's gonna be. Pat Williams, keep seeing people compare him to Kawhi Leonard as a young player. Kawhi couldn't shoot like Pat Williams can when he was this young. So I don't know. But I love Pat. I'm keeping Pat. I have so much Pat Williams stock. I can't even handle it. It's falling out of my pockets. It's pouring out of my ears. I'm keeping Pat Williams. He's starting. Wendell, I love you. Short stint on the bench once we figure things out. You can come back in the starting lineup, buddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with start Pat Will, trade Laurie, and bench Wendell. I'm on that same boat as you, John. I'm sorry, but as soon as the comparison started with Kawhi, I have just been bye.
Yeah.
Sam, are you on a different page?
First of all, I'll never be on a Bulls page. I'll never look at a show sports page. It's just not fun. It's just sadness when you look at it.
Good recently, man. They are looking pretty. Like, I will actually say that they're kind of fun to watch right now.
Yeah, because Zach LaVine drops buckets. That's the reason. Now everyone needs to go apologize after this.
He didn't drop buckets in beat Dallas.
Yeah, I actually just really briefly before letting Kevin even say a word, I do need to quickly apologize to Zach LaVine. He's been very good this year. He's been really, really good. He should be an all-star. I still don't know if I want him here long-term or not. I don't know. I want him more than Kobe. Kobe White can get the fuck out of here. If we were doing a bench trade start with like Kobe, Zach, and fucking like even Tomas Satoransky, like I'm getting Kobe out of there. I'm done with him. I've been done with him.
Yeah, I agree. Sam?
I mean, okay, if I somehow became magically a Bulls fan, Laurie deserves way better, first off. I think he's going to be so I will trade him for his own benefit. I think they're using Wendell Carter completely wrong, so he needs to start, and I think they need to run the play through him. I think he has a lot of potential, and it's just they don't have a point guard. I think it's a very obvious thing. I can't bash Pat Williams. The guy's been all around compared to all the draft picks that have come through the past. This has been the most consistent guy, so I can appreciate the grind there. But he's a rook. You're on the bench.
Oh, damn. We got that. All right, Sam. Kevin.
I agree with Sam 100%. I was going to say the exact same thing. I think Wendell's good. You got to play through him. I think he is very underutilized in Chicago. And get Laurie out of there right now. You get Laurie out of there last year, like you should have. What are you doing? And then, Pat Wills, he's good. He's going to get better, but let him learn off the bench. Don't give him the starting position as a rookie. Nah, he's got to earn it.
Yeah, don't give him the starting position, even though he's starting right now and killing it. Yeah, that's definitely bad.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. It's bad. Kevin, your logic is fire. I'm giving you that one. Sam, I'm gonna hit you with this one. Our leading Kings fan over here, Kings lover, as far as De'Aaron Fox goes. Bench trade start: Bagley, Holmes, or Barnes?
Yo, can we get rid of bench and put cut in this case? Because that's where Bagley's got to go at that point. Bagley can't be traded because he's negative value at this point. He's almost damaging. So I'll put him on the bench, like the furthest seat possible away from me. If I'm like a Luke Walton, like I don't even want to see this man. All right. If he comes walking by, I'm this way. All right. I'll probably trade Barnes because I just don't like the contract that much. I don't think Harrison Barnes is that good. I think he's doing a lot better compared to all of his seasons ever to playing basketball. I think this is actually his best. I think he understood the role that he's supposed to take at this point. And I love my boy Rich Homie Kwan and Rashawn Holmes. This guy actually is like the perfect fit. Maybe not for this roster, but like I think he's actually like so utilized in terms of like basketball. Perfect pick and roll person with De'Aaron Fox. Can set the screen for an off-ball play with Buddy Hield. Like, what else do you need from a big man? Play defense. This is what the guy can do. So we are starting Holmes.
All right, Kevin.
I think that's tough. I think I kind of again agree with Sam. I think you start Holmes. I think he's a very much a Wendell Carter kind of style right now in Sacramento. Like, he's that underutilized big man who isn't getting the plays run through him. And if he was, I think he'd be better. So I think you keep him, you start him. I don't like Barnes or Bagley.
Kevin, I'm gonna start playing the Wheel of Fortune music. No, the Jeopardy music. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play the Jeopardy music.
I think you do what Sam said, because I don't know if anyone's gonna want to take Bagley for his contract, and so I think you bench him and you trade Barnes.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm gonna actually switch Holmes and Barnes. I'm definitely on the same page as you, Sam, as far as Bagley goes. I'm done with him. Goodbye. You've done a horrible mistake of not getting Luka. But as far as Harrison Barnes goes, I actually really do prefer him over Holmes. No disrespect to Holmes whatsoever. But I do really like Harrison Barnes on this Kings team right now. John?
It sucks because the only kind of team that would trade for someone like Marvin Bagley is the Kings. Like, so maybe the Cavs want another big. I don't know. I would also be starting Harrison Barnes. I actually think Harrison Barnes has, kind of like you said, Sam, I think he's really found himself this year to an extent where, like, I'm just generally really impressed with how he fits in this role. I think he's actually figured it out. Where, like, the Dallas years when he was scoring 18 points a game, it was usually like he was being forced into a role that didn't work for him. Now it's like all pretty well within the flow of the offense, I feel like. So I'm starting him. I'm benching Holmes, and I'm trading Bagley because the thing is like when you have someone who was a number 2 pick, like I think like 2 or 3 years ago only, someone's gonna fuck up and give you something stupid for that. Like, so, like there's always somebody out there who will give you something ridiculous for something. It's like someone like Marvin Bagley.
Maybe
who does? Yeah, I mean, like maybe the Knicks love power forwards. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to trade Bagley because you just need to get that juju like out of your franchise. Like you got to get whatever his spirit is like tacked onto Marvin Bagley. You need to get that away from the arena.
Absolutely, and we'll have Bagley's dad orchestrate that trade, as we have seen on Twitter. Or no, his uncle, not his dad. Why don't we go to the next one? Yeah. Kevin, Hawks. This is an interesting conversation. We've got Gallo, we've got John Collins, and we've got Clint Capella. What do you got for a bench trade start? Because this one I'm actually a little this one's hard for me.
This one's hard. I mean, I kind of want to like start all of them, but I mean, that's not the whole point of this segment. This is tough. I think you start, assuming healthy, you start Gallo. I would bench Collins just to keep him and then trade away Capella because I think you get some good value for Capella, but I think Collins is the one you'd rather have on your team long term. That's my gut, but I'm not dead set on that.
So I didn't even think that we were going to have actually a decent discussion on this one. I thought we were all going to be on the same page, but I don't think that's the case. Because for me, I'm going to actually be trading John Collins, and it is strictly because of the situation that's going on with Trae Young. Because if Trae Young isn't getting along with John Collins, as much as I love John Collins as a player, you're going to get a lot of value from him, and you might be able to get somebody that Trae actually wants to play with. I am starting Gallo. Unfortunately, we haven't seen a lot of him this season, but I do respect him a lot as a player. He was awesome on OKC, and he was great on the Clippers. And then I'm trading away Capello. I'm not as high as him as some people are, but that's just where I stand as far as that goes. I'm going to knock it to you because I know you are a Hawks fan, so give me your input.
Okay, look. Gallinari doesn't even play basketball anymore, okay? Like, he's not a this man at this point. It's Clint Capella has to start. I mean, I think I'm going to say it's a very obvious choice because the man's averaging a double-double for the role that he's in. He's already averaging a double-double pretty easily. Like, what else do you need with Trae Young? You don't need another superstar talent. You just need someone that can just follow his lead at that point. It's the bad lead, but that's what you need at this point. You'd start you would start Capella. You'd trade Collins because it's not even the beef. I think it's just because they already gave too much money to the wrong people. I guess now looking back at it, they gave too much money to Bogdanovich with Gallo combo with that. This got an interesting mix of guys, and now they're all injured. So now it's like backfiring at this point. And I think, like you said, I think if you trade Collins, I think he just has so much value because I think you can do a sign trade, most likely. Sign the max, get him somewhere else. Maybe to the King. Maybe they have a good relationship at this point. And then, we're benching Gallo because we won't see him play. We just won't see him play, sadly.
Yeah, absolutely. John.
This is the most interesting one to me, and I think like part of it. Okay, so I kind of almost want to. Clint Capella, I think, is the best player here, and I kind of want to trade him because, like, when are they gonna like? They just drafted a center, like they, I don't and he hasn't been healthy, but he is like, I think he is like about to start playing or just started playing again. And I thought he was like a really interesting prospect that I want to see get minutes. Like they just need to do something to declutter this front court. They got a lot of guys in there who need minutes, and that's why this is such an interesting one. Like, who do you get rid of? I'm benching Gallo no matter what. And then I think I think you got to trade John Collins. I think the situation is problematic. I think that Collins is having one of his worst years right now. Mm-hmm. And that's like kind of disappointing to see. And I guess you got to start Capella, but it's still like, I don't know. You got to find a way to get that Rook some minutes because he was an interesting guy, and I want to see what he can do. But yeah, this is a tough one.
I never thought that I would say this, but I'm actually very interested in this conversation and this next one, and it's only because this is probably very realistic. So
who will the Celtics take?
Kill me now. Cavaliers. We have Drummond, we have Kevin Love, and we have Jared Allen. The newly acquired Jared Allen. So I'm going to start with you on this one, John, mostly because I don't trust myself to answer this one.
Yeah, so you call it, first thing you do, you say, Danny Ainge, you call him up, you say, Danny Ainge, remember when you gave us a busted-ass Isaiah Thomas? Well, guess what? We have some Kevin Love for you here, hot off the fucking benches. No, you trade Kevin Love and the moment you have a chance to. He needs to get the fuck out of there. There's no reason for him to be there. They have actually some really interesting young players like Jared Allen, who I like. I don't know if Drummond stays there long term, and that's why I say you bench him. He's clearly their best center right now. He's actually been pretty good this year, even defensively. Surprisingly, he's not like great, but like because their defense is so good, he's done. Jared Allen, I think that's their future at that position. He's a good player who needs minutes. Kevin Love, you got to get him out of there. You got to like cut the bait on this old era of Cleveland. There's no reason for him to be there. He's hurt right now. Someone will do something desperate and take him. You trade Kevin Love if you can.
All right, fair enough. Sam?
There's no love for Love, okay? It's gone now. The ship has sailed for it. It's a real shame. I think he was a really good talent, but this is even worse than Gordon Hayward at this point because you can't even start on a Cavs team. Think about that. That's horrendous. Jared Allen starts, phenomenal talent. That's going to be the missing piece for the Brooklyn Nets at that point. I think you got trade Drummond just because you're going to sell high on him because he has no offensive threat presence besides playing the quote-unquote defense and just being tall role. And Kevin Love, I don't. No one wants him. No one wants him. He's gonna be like Marvin Bagley. I don't want to see him. If he comes talking this way, I'm looking this way. All right.
All right, Kevin, what you got?
I'm with Sam. Bench Love. Not between these three, he's the one you bench. Easy, no question. I think you trade Allen just because, or no, you start Allen because he's young. He has a lot of potential. He's a really good big man. He's maybe not putting up the double-double numbers Drummond always is, but that's fine. He's going to get better. He's still really good. And then, you trade Drummond high. So many teams could use just a big man like him to just get rebounds, and they don't need a big man who's good at everything. And Drummond is that guy. Drummond is the guy who is good at rebounds and throwing a ball up 1 foot in the air into the basket. That's it. And I think that's very valuable to a lot of teams. So I think you trade him, get a lot of
stuff. Fair enough. Why don't we speed this up a little bit? We'll go with the Clippers and the Sixers, and we'll just hurry up and then go to buy or sell. Clippers, we have, I can't believe I'm reading this, Kennard, Lou Will, and Paul George. Of course we have to have Paul George on this fucking podcast. God damn it. Kevin, why don't you start?
I think this was a joke. This was a joke.
Oh, it was a joke? Okay, cool. So we're going to take Paul George out. We're going to put him.
I mean, is it a joke? Come on now. Come on.
There it is. There it is. Kevin, why don't you go for us?
So are we doing Paul George or are we doing Nick Batum?
We're doing
Batum. Trade Luke Kennard. He's not that good, but he's still overvalued.
Yeah.
Bench Lou Will, start Nick Batum. Easy.
All right, so fair enough, John.
I'm starting Nick Batum. He's actually been really good this year. It's like Boris Diaw. He's actually been really good. And then I'm gonna bench Kennard, and you're trading Lou Will because I think you'll get the most back for him, and you need a point guard.
Fair enough, Sam.
Starting Nick Batum. Don't you ever compare Nick Batum to Boris Diaw? Boris Diaw was a significantly better player.
I know it was a little much, but you know.
Luke Kennard, like the least Clipper player I could think would sign with this team. Like it's ridiculous. I'd probably trade him because it's not panning out. I know it's 10 games, but it's not panning out right now. Lou Will, maybe trade Lou Will. We get him to Atlanta, enjoy the strip clubs there. Have some good chicken wings. He's set for life. That's what we need. So I'll change it up. We'll bench Kennard, get Lou Will to Atlanta. That's it.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually have to agree with. Maybe not agree, but I'm going to start Nick Batum. I'm going to bench Lou Will. And the only reason I'm doing that is because I feel like you need as many assets as you can possibly do, or else the Clippers have 100% fucked up this entire thing with Kawhi and Paul George. And then I'm going to trade Kennard. I don't know who will take that embarrassing contract, but you got to try. Then we're going to go with the Sixers. I'm going to start this off. Never thought I'd say this. I'm starting Seth Curry. This is going to be Seth Curry, Matisse Thybulle, and Danny Green. I'm going to bench Matisse Thybulle, and the only reason is because I think he has a lot of value. I really like him as a defensive player. He's a really solid player, and I'd like to see a little bit more from him. But for the Sixers in general, Seth Curry has been just monumental help. He's exactly what they needed. And then I'm trading Danny Green because I have no respect for Danny Green. John.
That's cold, man. I'm gonna start. I think I agree with everything you just said. But if you want to actually get something in return for the trade, I'm trading Matisse Thybulle. I think that there's teams that would give you something valuable for that. But
sure.
This is the only case where I actually think that the team should just keep all these people. But it's yeah.
Sam.
We're definitely going to start Seth. Seth's been balling out. Danny Green, I think, is a perfect vet for this team. Matisse Thybulle, we trade him because he's not that good. They don't know how to use him. They're just not using him correctly. It's just not the right team, honestly, that to use him. This guy's guy gets 3 points a game. That's what are we going to do at this point? 4 rebounds. Plays 10 minutes. He's really just not even a role player at this point. So I'd trade him. Probably get a Goran Dragic or something. They won't trade that for that, but that's not. You get the point. That's not bad.
Kevin.
I agree with Sam and kind of John that start Seth. Obviously, I think you bench Danny Green, just keep him on there for the occasional 3 or whatever, occasional defense, and then trade Matisse Thybulle. Try and get someone who is overvaluing him because he got hyped up for playing one game and getting 34 points.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Now we've got buy or sell speed round, boys. Keep your answers 30 seconds or lower. John, buy or sell? The Brooklyn Nets are officially the best team in basketball this season.
Sell. I'm selling. No, it's the Lakers. It's still the Lakers. It's the Lakers until proved otherwise. The Lakers are actually like disgusting. I'm sorry. They're just still nasty. They can do so much different shit. It's the Lakers.
Yeah, Sam.
Yeah, we're selling. Like I said, very skeptical. This team is the 2007 Suns. We thought they were good, but they can't get past second round. Okay, so this Nets is just very scared about them, so I'm selling.
Kevin?
I'm selling, but I still think they're top 3 team currently this season. But Lakers are still number 1. Easy.
I'm going to be the odd man out, and I'm going to buy on this. It's only because starting off, you had Harden and KD obviously working extremely well together, and I'm just excited to see Kyrie play with them. I've got some hope for this team. John, Kevin, the Houston Rockets are a top 4 favorite with the trade for Depot.
Who?
Kevin, sorry.
Selling. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not giving much input on this. I don't have any strong opinions either way. Selling very lightly.
That's fine. Sam?
I would sell because they should have kept Karis LeVert. I think it was just a better option in this point because Depot made it clear he does not want to be in Houston. So we won't be here long.
John?
I don't think they're a top. I think they're better than they've been. I don't think they're a top 4 favorite, so I will sell. But I think this team will at least be like, they're not going to fucking hate playing basketball with each other like they have been. So at least that'll be nice. Like, I'm buying for them having fun, not buying for them being very, very good.
Rodri, and I am selling the overall top 4 favorite.
Yeah.
All right, John, we've got buy or sell. Indiana Pacers move to the second round of the playoffs this year. Let's assume that Karis is healthy.
This is really hard because I do really like this team. I think I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna buy. I think so. If it's like a 4-5 matchup and like whatever seed they are, as long as they're not playing like the Sixers or the Nets in the first round, I think they can move to the second round.
Yeah, that's fair. Sam?
I can buy.
Or the Bucks, sorry. Yeah.
I mean, I think I could buy on them. I just think the bottom half is a little bit weaker in the East. Unless it's the Knicks. If they play the Knicks, they're going to be out. I promise you that. Okay? Ask your Boston Celtics how they felt today. All right?
Top 3 seed, New York Knicks. Let's go. All right, Kevin, what you got?
I think I'm buying on this one lightly, but buying nonetheless. Again, I think I said this last episode. I think Karis LeVert has something to prove, and I think he's really going to try and show up in the playoffs, especially. And if the rest of the team is playing the way they have been, I think they're in a good shape right now. I mean, Sabonis is good. Brogdon's good. I think this is their year to finally push through the second round and then stop there.
And then stop there. Yeah, that's fair. Typically your heat is a little bit too much for me, Kevin, but that's not as much of a hot take as normal. I'm going to be buying on this one. I do really like this Pacers team. I think Sabonis is such a great player. I really do. I love his step up this year that he's done. It's been fantastic. And I truly do think that Karis LeVert is an upgrade. Hopefully everything goes well with him. Last but not least, we have Bradley Beal is a 76er soon. Sam, are you buying or selling on this?
I was selling because they're going to ask for Ben Simmons. I'm not trading Ben Simmons for Bradley Beal personally. And I just don't think Bradley Beal's too much of a nice guy to ask for a trade. He would have done it like 4 years ago if this happened. So I'm selling.
All right, Kevin.
I'm selling. I think other teams might be looking for Bradley Beal, but I think the 76ers have got something going. And I don't think they want to trade away anyone else now that they can't get James Harden. I think they're gonna chill for a minute.
John?
You know when we saw some of Joel Embiid's best basketball this year? Right after Ben Simmons fouled out in that overtime game. Look, I still don't think that I totally believe this is a perfect matchup. It's working better than it ever has, which I give him credit for. Everyone in the league wants Bradley Beal. I want Bradley Beal more than I want Ben Simmons. If that's on the table, you make it happen because him plus Joel Embiid, that's filthy. So I, you know what? I'm gonna actually buy it. I think the Sixers are gonna make a move this year. I still feel it in my bones. So I don't know what it is, but like I think it's coming, and I'm buying on this one. I think
I'm gonna buy on this one too. Actually, I think what the Wizards can do is if they did get Ben Simmons for Bradley Beal and probably a few other picks or whatever, you could build your team around Simmons because he's still like a really solid player and he's still young enough and you're going to be able to do it. You're going to be able to do that. And then with the Sixers having Bradley Beal, it's going to be gross. It would absolutely be.
But I did just get like a terrible secondhand cringe thinking about Ben Simmons playing basketball with Russell Westbrook. Which sounds like maybe the worst match, like combination of players that you could actually put together in the NBA. So maybe it's not this year, but I still think something's coming. Maybe it's not this. That would be really ugly.
So maybe Ben Simmons doesn't go to the Wizards. Because wow, I can't. It's funny. Russell Westbrook is having another like triple-double season, and I just have not even thought about him in the past couple of weeks. Like that name.
He's going to be out for like the next month. Like he had a quad injury. Like
I'm sorry, but Ben Simmons is not Ben Simmons. I'm sorry. Russell Westbrook is washed. I'm done with the Russ conversations. I'm kind of over it at this point. He's playing very selfish basketball.
It's not very good.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna do this last one, and then we'll John's partying over here. Last one, and then we're done. Washed King, Kevin Love or Blake Griffin? John.
We'll buy one of them. You know what? I think Blake Griffin is our washed king this year, man. He is legitimately terrible. He is really, really bad. It sucks because he's like so skilled and smart offensively, but he's like nothing on defense. He's like really terrible. He can do all sorts of stuff that's like at least playable offensively, but like garbage everywhere else. And like Kevin Love, I think you can at least like install into a winning team and like have him be a helpful player still. I think Blake Griffin is like fully like 20 minutes off the bench level, like washed at this point. Like he's like Carmelo Anthony level washed right now. Like it's ugly.
Woof. Rest in peace to our brother Brian.
It's not pretty. He's got some decent stats sometimes.
Not pretty, Sam.
Kids, stay in school, don't do dunks, okay? Because that's what happened to Blake Griffin, and this man cannot get over 6 inches now. So, even though Kevin Love's only played like 2 games this season, it's I think he understands the role. I think he's actually a really good facilitator. I think that's actually like really like underappreciated. Maybe he'll be a Laker. Who knows at this point? Because that's what happens. If you're a good facilitator, you go to the Lakers. But I think Blake Griffin I think he's going to be in no man's land eventually. Like, it's coming up very soon. Like, he's just not a perfect fit anywhere. Maybe the Boston Celtics will take him and then ruin his knees and then probably trade him like IT. So, who knows? So, the Wash King, Blake Griffin here.
Damn you, Sam. Kevin, what do you got?
Yeah, I agree. Just because, like John said, like you can put Kevin Love in a bad team and he'll at least help. He'll help out. He'll facilitate a little bit. He'll make good plays, make smart plays. Blake Griffin won't. He's just not gonna do that. He's not gonna be that helpful in any scenario anymore. And I hate to say that because I love him too, but like, Wash King for sure.
Yeah, the crown goes to Blake Griffin. I'll keep it as simple as that. Congratulations, Blake Griffin. You are officially washed up. Thank you guys for listening to the podcast, the Deep 3 Pod. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter. You could also listen to us and watch us on YouTube. Please like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content by us. So thank you guys so much, and have a good night. Peace.
See ya.
See ya.